So next question is, so Platypus744 is asking, could you explain the complications with addressing one-handed tank controls on some controls where equipping a tool? I'm a little confused because I thought some controllers do not have this behavior. For example, I think my old VMware controllers could hold tools and return for locomotion. Thank you. Yes, so it's a controller-specific thing. The main problem is, like, you know, through our system, we need to support wide variety of controllers. And originally, Froox engine, it works specifically with the Vive vans. And the Vive vans, they only have a touchpad. So if you want to move, or if you want to use it for a tool, you know, like, you only have the touchpad to do that. And the problem with that is, you essentially, like, in order to use the touchpad, you kind of have to press it. So, like, you know, the using of the, you know, secondary kind of 2D axis is linked to pressing it. And the system was kind of, like, you know, built around that. So now when it comes to, like, you know, controllers, like the touch controllers, you know, they have a joystick. And the joystick, you can use it without clicking on it. Which kind of decouples that, but we still need to support Vive vans as well, because people still use them. And then you have controllers like Index, or the Windows Mixed Reality, and they have both touchpad and have the joysticks, which means we can allow you to keep moving with the joystick because there's still touchpad. You can kind of use both at the same time. But if a controller only has like one of those inputs, you know, you cannot really use both at the same time, because then if you try to use the tool, you'd be moving and jumping around. So that's kind of what makes it a fair bit more complicated. And there's like possible ways to decouple it, but we'll still have to, like, you know, account for Vive vans, because the Vive vans, like, you can't really decouple it. Like, it doesn't really work without, you know, clicking the touchpad, and that kind of makes it more complicated.
Hey, VR controller makers, more buttons.
More buttons, please.
Please.
It is, like, you know, one of those things where, because there's like mods that get around it, but the mods, you know, they don't care about supporting all the controllers, but we do have to, because, you know, we can't just, like, you know, implement something and it just be like, if you have, you know, Vive vans, you know, guess you don't get to play anymore. Like, we can't do that. So it makes the issue far more complicated.